Hello students, in this lectures we will practice on calculating oxidation number of an elements in different compounds. You can see there are two compounds given on the screen, and for the highlighted elements we have to calculate oxidation numbers. Well, let me come to the first compound. You can see this compound is a neutral compound. Okay, this compound is a neutral compound because it does not carry any charge. Well, in case of neutral compound, we have learned total oxidation number of all the elements in a compound is always equal to 0. Always equal to 0. Well, first element is sodium, and sodium is present in first A group elements. Here we have first A group elements, and we have learned like first A group elements always show +1 oxidation numbers. So you can see for sodium I can put up here +1. There are two sodium here, so I multiply +1 by 2 multiplied by +1 plus. Then we have boron, and for which we have to calculate the oxidation numbers. For boron we can mention. Now there are 7 oxygen. Here we put 7 and bracket. The charge of oxygen is -2. It is also taken as a oxidation numbers. In oxides, oxygen always shows -2 charge, and that is taken as oxidation numbers. Well, now we can simplify. It is +2, then we have 4b, 7 to the 14 is equal to 0. Then here we have 4b, and +2 minus 14 is equal to -12 is equal to 0. Then here we have 4b is equal to, we can transfer 12 on the other side, +12 we get. Then boron is equal to, here we have 12 divided by 4, 4 3 are 12. Then here we get +3 oxidation numbers. Boron shows +3 oxidation number in the neutral compound. If I write, remember, if I write boron is equal to 3, this answer is incorrect. This one is correct. We always mention sign positive or negative before numbers in case of calculating oxidation numbers. Here we have +3 oxidation numbers for boron. Now we move on to the next compound. In this case you can see for tin we have to calculate the oxidation number for tin. But this is not a neutral compound, it is a polyatomic ion because it is having a negative charge. It is an ion. Well, this is oxalate ion. So we study about oxalate ion. If I talk about its structure, COO and it is O minus. This oxygen has one negative charge. Then COO again, and it is having negative charge. You can see there are two charge. Each oxygen is having one negative charge. Then overall charge of this oxalate ion is -2. In general we can say this ion we are getting from oxalic acid, COOH, and here we have COOH. If I remove one hydrogen, one negative charge. If I remove second hydrogen, another negative charge. It can also be written as COOH and whole 2. Okay, so for oxalate ion we can use -2 as oxidation numbers. Then here we have, you can see this is polyatomic ion, and for polyatomic ion the total charge is equal to the total oxidation number of elements in the polyatomic ion. The total charge is what? -4. Well, for tin we have to calculate oxidation numbers. Then how many oxalate ion are there? 3 oxalate ion are here, so I mention here 3. And for each oxalate ion the total charge is what? -2. I can put up here -2. Now we can simplify. This is 10, 3 to the 6, -6 is equal to, on the other side we have -4. Then 10 is equal to -4 and +6. Then 10 is equal to, here we get +2. So 10 you can see is showing +2 oxidation number. That is how we can calculate it. You don't need to put the oxidation number of carbon and oxygen individually, otherwise you may make a mistake. That's why this is polyatomic ion also, this oxalate ions, and in this case directly we mention the charge, that is it is having the total charge is -2. Then your task becomes easier. Now let's move on to the next compounds. You can see here we have the next compounds are there. Both are neutral compounds. It is NH4NO3 and it is NH2.NH2. And you can see like in the first compounds two nitrogens are there, and for each nitrogen we have to calculate the oxidation numbers. Remember, each nitrogen is in different environment, that's why each nitrogen will show different oxidation numbers. You can see this nitrogen is having 4 hydrogen and this nitrogen is attached to 3 oxygen, that's why their oxidation numbers may be different. Well, if I talk about an ionic compound, let's say it is NaCl. If I break it from here, first one is positive and second one is the negative. Okay, ionic compounds means 2 charges will be there, one positive, another is negative. Well, similarly this ammonium nitrate is also an ionic compound. You can break it from here. The first one is positive and second one is negative. Well, now here we have, you can see there are 2 ions we are getting. First one is the positive and second one part, that is nitrate ion, here we get negative. Now we can calculate the oxidation number of nitrogen from each ion. Well, this is the total charge, here we mention total charge. Okay, this is polyatomic ions. For nitrogen we have to calculate oxidation number. Now next, hydrogen is there. Hydrogen attached to non-metal shows +1 oxidation numbers, and hydrogen attached to metals shows -1 oxidation number. There are 4 hydrogen, I mention here 4. Now we can simplify. Nitrogen plus 4 is equal to +1, then here we get nitrogen is equal to +1 minus 4, then here we get -3. You can see nitrogen shows -3 oxidation state, yeah, oxidation number in nitrate ion, here we have -3. Now in ammonium ion. Now if I talk about nitrate ion, so in this case the total charge is -1. I mention here -1 is equal to, now first one is the nitrogen, and for which we have to calculate the oxidation numbers. Well, oxygen, as we said, as we know already, oxygen shows -2 oxidation number. There are three oxygen, so I multiplied by 3. Then we can simplify. 3 to the 6 minus 6 is equal to -1. Then nitrogen is equal to what? -1 plus 6. We can transfer -6 on the other side. Then here we get nitrogen is equal to +5. You can see the second nitrogen shows +5 oxidation numbers. So that's what I said, since each nitrogen is in different environments, that's why they will be showing different oxidation number. Now let me talk about the second compound. Next compound is given here. This nitrogen and this nitrogen, both nitrogens are in the same environment. This nitrogen is attached to hydrogen and this nitrogen is also attached to hydrogen. It means like both will be, each one will be showing the same oxidation numbers. Well, if we can simplify it. How many nitrogens are there? There are 2 nitrogen. I can mention this compound and 2. How many hydrogen are there? 4 hydrogen. We can mention this compound in this form also. Well, this is a neutral compound, so the total oxidation number of nitrogen and hydrogen will always be equal to 0. Well, 2 nitrogen, I mentioned here 2 nitrogen plus 4 hydrogen, and hydrogen is attached to non-metal. Nitrogen is a non-metal, so hydrogen attached to non-metal shows +1 oxidation numbers. There are 4 hydrogen, 4 multiplied by +1. Then we have 2 nitrogen and it is +4 and is equal to 0. We can simplify. 2 nitrogen is equal to, here we get -4, then nitrogen is equal to -4 divided by 2, then here we get -2. So you can see each nitrogen will show -2 oxidation numbers. So in this case you can mention it is -2 and here also it is -2. Well, now let's move on to the next compound. Well, here we have the next compound. In this case we have to calculate the oxidation number of phosphorus, P, oxidation number of phosphorus, and in the second one we have to calculate the oxidation number of sulfur. Let me talk about the first one. Well, you can see there is a one barium. This is a barium atom, barium, and this is 2. Okay, this portion is given 2. Okay, if you remember, some compounds, let's say if I say Al2 and O3 compound is given here, Al2, there are 2 aluminums, 3 oxygen are there, and in this compound if the question asks me to calculate the oxidation number of a charge of each element in this compound, yes, we can calculate. We can crisscross these numbers. This is 2 and this is 3, so we can crisscross. 3 will go to the first element, first one is always positive, and 2 will go to the oxygen and second one will be the negative. So in this case you can see aluminum will have +3 charge and oxygen will have -2 charge. By crisscross these numbers, crisscross these numbers, we can calculate the charge of these elements. This is also the simplest method. So better we use the simplest method. In this case also you can see one barium is there, one barium, and so this is 2, so we can crisscross these numbers. 2 will go on the left side, that will be the first one is always positive, and 1 is here we get -1. Okay, from here we get the anions. We select the anion part because from anion part also only we can calculate the oxidation number of phosphorus. Phosphorus is present only in anionic part. So here we get H2 and it is PO2 and its overall charge is what? -1. We simplified this portion. Now we can calculate the oxidation number of phosphorus very easily. Now you can see it is a polyatomic ion. It is having -1 charge. So we can see the total oxidation number of elements in a polyatomic ion is always equal to its total charge, -1. Well, hydrogen is attached to non-metals. Hydrogen attached to non-metals shows +1 oxidation number. There are 2 hydrogen, I mentioned here 2, plus phosphorus, plus oxygen, of course it is -2, we can simplify. So here we have +2, then we have phosphorus, 2 2 is 4 is equal to, on the other side we have -1. Phosphorus we get -2 is equal to -1, then phosphorus is equal to what is -1 plus 2 and is equal to +1. Then you can see phosphorus shows +1 oxidation numbers. Here we have +1 oxidation numbers. Well, now let me talk about the second one also. Next one, same method we can use. It is 2 and it is 3. Okay, and you can see we can crisscross these numbers. So 3 will go to the left side, here we have 3, and first one is always positive. 2 will go to the other side, -2. Very simple. We have to calculate the oxidation number of sulfur, and sulfur is present in anionic part. So we can see this is SO4 and its charge is what? Anionic part is having -2 charge. Now we simplified this portion. Well, from here we can calculate easily. We can easily calculate the oxidation number of sulfurs. Well, the total charge is what? -2. Here we have is equal to, we can mention it is -2. Here we have sulfurs, and then here we get 4 and it is oxygen, of course is -2. We can simplify 4 to the 8 minus S is equal to -2. Then here we have S is equal to -2 and it is +8 is equal to +6. Then sulfur shows +6 oxidation numbers. This is a sulfate ion in fact. Okay, in this case also you can write sulfur shows +6 oxidation number, its highest oxidation number. Well, now we can talk about the next compounds. Interesting compound is given here. This is Na2H2O3, and in this case we have to calculate the oxidation number of sulfurs. It is a polyatomic it is not a polyatomic ion because it does not have any charge. So we can say it is a neutral compound. For the neutral compound, the total oxidation number of elements is always equal to 0. Well, this is a sodium, and sodium is present in first A group elements, and first A group elements always show +1 oxidation numbers. Here we can mention here +1. There are 2 sodiums, so I multiply +1 by 2. Plus there are 2 sulfur, I mention here +2S. Then oxygen is there, of course oxygen is -2. Well, here we have +2, then here we have +S. 3 2 is 6 is equal to 0. We can simplify. It is 2S will be -4 is equal to 0. Then 2S is equal to +4. Then here we get S is equal to +4 divided by 2. Then here we get +2. Then sulfur shows +2 oxidation numbers. Here we have +2. Each sulfur shows +2 oxidation numbers. Well, now move on to the next one. In this case also we can use the same concept. It is 1 and it is 2. We can crisscross. So 1 will go to the left side and it is positive, and 2 will go to the right side, it is negative. You can see for zinc we have to calculate the oxidation numbers, and zinc portion is present in anionic part, whole 4, and its charge is what? It is -1. Simple part. Okay, now we can simplify this portion. For zinc we have to calculate oxidation number. Here we have zinc plus 4 hydroxide ion are given here. Remember, if I talk about H2O, it can produce H plus ion and it produces OH minus ion. OH minus ion, this hydroxide ion always carry what kind of charge? Negative charge. How much? -1. I mention here -1 is equal to, and its total charge is equal to this, because this is polyatomic ion. Here we have -1. Now we can simplify. It is -4 is equal to -1. Then zinc is equal to what? -1 plus 4 is equal to, here we get +3. You can see zinc shows here we have the total charge is -2. -2, we can correct it, there is no problem. So here we have -2, then here we have -2, and if we have -2, then of course we are going to get +2 oxidation numbers. So here we have zinc shows +2 oxidation numbers. Yes, in this complex, this is in a complex, we can see, and it shows +2 oxidation numbers. That is correct. Well, now move on to the next compound. Next one is aluminum sulfate, in which for sulfur we have to calculate the oxidation numbers. Well, same method we can follow here also. This is 2 and here we have 3. We can crisscross these numbers. 3 we get here and 2 we get on the right side. First one is always positive, second one is the negative. Well, sulfur is present in anionic part, so that's why we take this SO4 and it is having overall charge is -2. Now we can calculate the oxidation number of sulfurs. The total charge is -2. I mentioned here it is -2. Sulfur oxidation number is to be calculated, and 4 bracket oxygen is, of course, it is -2. We can simplify sulfurs, and 4 to the 8 and is equal to -2. We can simplify further. Sulfur, it is -2 plus 8, and here we get +6. Sulfur shows +6 oxidation numbers. So here it shows +6 oxidation number, and in this sulfate ion also it shows +6. In sulfate ion it shows +6 oxidation number, and in aluminum sulfate also. Well, now next one is, this is gold. This is gold. Well, for gold we have to calculate the oxidation number. This is a complex. You can see it is directly we can also put the oxidation numbers. It's up to you. You can see one potassium, and so this part is also given there, so it will be +1, it will be negative. Directly also you can do, otherwise you can separate anionic part, then you can calculate the oxidation number of gold. You will get the same and correct answer. Well, potassium is a first group elements, and potassium being first group elements always shows +1 oxidation number. +1 I can mention here. Plus here we have gold, Au plus. This is cyanide ion. If I talk about hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen has positive charge. If you remove one positive charge, then it will have one negative charge. Okay, if you remove one positive charge from this compound, then you can see cyanide ion will have negative charge. So for this cyanide ions, in general, in coordination chemistry, we name it as a negative ligand. It shows -1 charge. This is electron density, which donates electron density to central elements to form coordinate bond. But anyway, whenever cyanide ion is given there individually for carbon and nitrogen, you don't need to plug in the oxidation number. Overall charge you can plug in, that is -1. Here we have -1. There are 4 cyanide ions, so I multiplied by 4 and is equal to 0. I take it as a neutral. Okay, because potassium we have considered. Then here we have +1, and here we have Au, it is -4 is equal to 0. Then we have gold, it will be what? -3 is equal to 0. Then gold will show +3 oxidation numbers. So it's very easy and interesting part. You can see in this complex gold shows +3 oxidation numbers. Now we move on to the next complex. Well, here we have K2MnO4. K2MnO4. For manganese we have to calculate the oxidation numbers. This is manganese. Well, It is a neutral molecule, so in this case we can put the total oxidation number of all the elements is equal to 0. Then we have potassium is a first group elements, and first group elements always show +1 oxidation numbers. There are 2 potassium, I multiply it by 2 plus. Then we have manganese plus, here we have 4 and oxygen is of course it is -2. Well, we can simplify, it is +2, then we have manganese, it is there 4 2 8 and is equal to 0. Then here we get manganese, it is -6 is equal to 0. Then here we get manganese is equal to +6. This is very simple and interesting part. So you can see it shows +6 oxidation numbers. Well, now we move on to the next complex. It is a complex, and you can see for silver we have to calculate oxidation numbers. Well, for potassium we can plug in, that is +1. Then we have silver. Then there are 2 cyanide ion, as we have learned, like cyanide ion has -1 charge, hydrogen has +1 charge. So you can see for cyanide ion you can directly plug in here -1, and this is a neutral complex is equal to 0. We can simplify +1, it is Ag, and here we have it is -2 is equal to 0. Then here we have Ag and it is -1 is equal to 0. Then here we have Ag is equal to +1 oxidation numbers. Okay, +1 oxidation number. Silver shows +1 oxidation number. Well, in this case you can do anionic part also. You can see this one potassium, this is also 1, so first one is the positive and second one is the negative. From here you will get Ag, and then it is Cn whole 2 is there. Then here we have -1. From here also you can calculate the oxidation number of silvers. You will get the same answer, that is the +1 oxidation number. Now next compounds are there. In this case you have to calculate the oxidation number of tin. Well, let's carry on. Hydrogen is attached to non-metals and it shows +1 oxidation numbers. Then here we have 2 and here we have +1. It is a neutral compound, so total oxidation number will be always equal to 0. Well, 6 halogen, this is chlorine, and halogen's oxidation number in general is always -1. Halogens, neutral compound is there, is equal to 0. Well, here is +2, then here we have it is 10. 10 is there, -6 is equal to 0. We can simplify 10 and 2 -6 is equal to -4 is equal to 0. Then 10 is equal to +4. We always mention positive and negative sign in oxidation number. You can see 10 shows +4 oxidation numbers. Now next part is that K4Fe. It is a complex actually, so your choice how you want to solve this. This is 1, this is 4, so you can put up here it is -4, you can put up here it is +1, like that also. Otherwise if you want to plug in the oxidation number of each elements given here, that way also you can calculate. It's up to you. Okay, you can see potassium, it shows +1 oxidation number. There are 4 potassium and plus Fe, and in case of cyanide ion we know it shows -1 oxidation number, is equal to 0. Now we can simplify, it is +4, then here we have Fe is there, it is -6 is equal to 0. Fe it is -2, this is iron, and is equal to 0. Then iron shows +2 oxidation number. It's very simple part, an interesting part. Now in this complex Fe shows +2 oxidation number. We move on to the next complex. These are the interesting complexes given here. Well, you can see in this complex this is sulfate ion, and sulfate ion always shows -2 charge. So if it is showing -2 charge, then this portion will show +2 charge. That is how we can simplify this portion. Okay, sulfate ion shows -2 charge. Sulfate ion, we have learned that sulfate ion shows -2 charge. Overall charge is -2. Then this remaining part will be +2 because it is a neutral compound, so its positive and negative charge should be equal. So I separated this portion. I have to calculate the oxidation number of iron, so I focus on the cationic part because iron is present in the cationic portion. Well, here we have Fe. Okay, otherwise I can write directly from here. I do one thing, I write directly from here the anionic part, cationic part which we are getting. It is H2O. It is H2O, and here we have 5 and here we have Cl, and overall charge is plus 2. Well, now we can simplify further. Remember, when we have NH3, H2O, yes, CO, these molecules are present, their oxidation numbers is always taken as 0. These are neutral molecules, a compound. Okay, so their oxidation number is taken as 0. So you can see this is the total charge, it is plus 2. I can is equal to put here plus 2, and then here we have Fe, then plus how many water molecules are there? 5 multiplied by water molecule. It is a neutral molecule. Neutral means it does not have any charge. We mention here 0, and plus halogens in general, they always show minus 1 oxidation numbers. Well, here we get plus 0, it is minus 1 is equal to plus 2. Then here we have Fe is equal to plus 2, and here we have plus 1 is equal to plus 3. Then iron shows plus 3 oxidation numbers. We can calculate oxidation numbers. It shows plus 3, and here also we can mention plus 3 oxidation numbers. Same is the case, we can follow up here. You can see from here, this portion is an ionic portion. It can be divided. If halogen is minus 1, then this portion will be positive. Okay, this portion will be positive. So from here we are getting the cationic portion in which iron is present. Here we have Fe, it is NO2, and 2 is there. Then we have NH3, and 4 is there, and total charge is what? Here we have plus 1. Well, this is NO2. You can see HNO2. If I remove one positive charge, then NO2 will have one negative charge. Overall charge of NO2 we can mention that is minus 1. There is no any exceptions on it. We always mention minus 1. Here we have Fe, then 2 bracket, it is minus 1, and then here we get 4 multiplied by ammonia molecule is there 0. Then total charge is what? It is plus 1. Total charge is plus 1. Then Fe is equal to, it is minus 2, and plus 0 is equal to plus 1. Then here we get Fe, it is minus 2 is equal to plus 1. Then Fe is equal to, it is plus 1 plus 2, and it will show plus 3 oxidation numbers. Then Fe shows plus 3 oxidation numbers. In this sheet you can see I have given some compounds for the practice purpose, and in all these compounds you can try calculating oxidation numbers. For this case you have to calculate oxidation number of oxygen, then we have Cr, then we have Fe. Highlighted elements are given there. For the highlighted elements you have to calculate the oxidation numbers. Here we have oxidation number. So for these elements you can try, and you can share your answer in the comment section. Well, I will give the answer keys. You can match your answers with the answer keys.